Visit licensuraexams.com and try our samples completely free of charge.
Hello, all you incredible therapists, and welcome to our Licensure Exams podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Linton Hutchinson, along with my co-host, Stacy Frost. And I'm so glad you're tuning in.
Hi, folks. Stacy here. We're excited to have you with us today.
Today, we're tackling a big topic, the barriers clients face in reaching their treatment goals.
Yes, it's a really important one that comes up all the time in our work.
It sure does. Clients often hit roadblocks, both external and internal.
And sometimes those barriers are so intertwined it's hard to separate them.
Exactly. Let's start with external barriers, things like financial limitations, transportation issues, time constraints.
Just the other day, I was working with a client who was struggling to make it to sessions because of her hectic work schedule.
I've seen that too. What did you do to help?
Well, we looked at her schedule together and tried to find pockets of time that could work. I offered early morning sessions, which she appreciated.
That's a great idea. I've also found telehealth to be a game changer in situations like that.
Oh, definitely. Since the pandemic, telehealth has really opened up new possibilities.
Right. Even now, it's helping us reach clients we couldn't before.
Exactly. And when it comes to financial barriers, offering sliding scale fees or payment plans can make therapy more accessible.
True, but sometimes I wonder if adjusting the frequency of sessions could help too. Maybe moving from weekly to biweekly sessions?
That's an interesting point. Do you think that could impact the effectiveness of therapy?
It might, but if the client stays engaged over the long term, it could be a worthwhile trade-off.
I see what you mean. It's all about finding the right balance.
Precisely. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Speaking of transportation issues, have you ever coordinated with local services to help clients get to therapy?
Actually, yes, there are community programs that offer transportation vouchers.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about those. That's really helpful.
Yeah, and in some cases, I've reached out to volunteer groups willing to assist.
That's fantastic. Goes to show how important it is to connect clients with resources.
Absolutely. But we have to be mindful of professional boundaries too.
Definitely. We can provide information, but the client has to take the initiative.
Right. It's a delicate balance.
It is. Now, internal barriers can be even more challenging.
Tell me about it. Resistance, feelings of powerlessness, lack of motivation, they all play a role.
Exactly. And if we don't address them, progress can really stall.
So how do you tackle these internal challenges?
I often use motivational interviewing techniques, OARS,
Open-ended questions, affirmations, reflective listening, and summarizing. It's a great framework.
Yes, it helps build rapport and enhances motivation.
Absolutely. I also think addressing the client's locus of control is important.
Agreed, but sometimes cultural factors can influence how they perceive control.
That's so true. Cultural background can shape their entire approach to therapy.
Which means we need to adapt our strategies accordingly.
Exactly. Remember that case of the single mother we discussed?
Yes, she was dealing with anxiety, work stress, and taking care of her kids.
Right. She faced both external and internal barriers.
She did. We had to get creative to support her.
Offering evening telehealth sessions was a big help.
Absolutely. And exploring flexible work options with her employer.
Plus, working on her feelings of powerlessness through cognitive restructuring.
Yes, and acknowledging her cultural values around family responsibilities.
It all made a difference.
It did. But sometimes I feel like we focus so much on techniques, we might overlook the human connection.
I couldn't agree more. Building a strong therapeutic relationship is key.
Exactly. Empathy can go a long way.
Even if it means adjusting our planned interventions.
Right. Therapy isn't just about following a script.
It's about meeting the client where they are.
Absolutely. Each client brings unique challenges and strengths.
Speaking of challenges, have you ever had a client who was just completely resistant?
Oh, yes, and it's tough.
It really is. How do you handle that?
I try to explore the reasons behind the resistance.
That's smart. Sometimes resistance is a way of communicating discomfort.
Exactly. It might signal that something isn't working in the therapy.
Oh, which means we might need to change our approach.
Agreed. Maybe involve the client more in goal setting.
Empowering them can reduce feelings of helplessness.
Absolutely. And for therapists preparing for the licensing exam, these nuances are important.
Definitely. The exam isn't just about knowledge, but application.
Right. They want to see that you can make ethical and effective decisions.
Exactly.
By the way, how do you handle situations where a client's cultural values conflict with therapeutic advice?
I try to find a middle ground.
Collaboration is key.
Absolutely. We can't impose our values.
It's about guiding them to solutions that align with their beliefs.
Sometimes clients surprise us.
Cool, for sure. I had a client who was initially resistant, but once we addressed her cultural concerns, she became so engaged. It was a great reminder of how important it is to consider the whole person.
We've covered a lot of ground, so it's time for a knowledge check.
Donna, a 32-year-old single mother, works 2 jobs and cares for her elderly father who has limited mobility. Donna is seeking therapy for anxiety, but has missed several sessions due to work conflicts and caregiving responsibilities. She expresses interest in continuing therapy, but feels overwhelmed by scheduling challenges. Which approach would be most appropriate while maintaining professional boundaries? A. Help her explore flexible work arrangements and coordinate with community elder care services. B. Offer telehealth sessions during her lunch break at work and provide resource referrals for elder care. C. Suggest she prioritize therapy by reducing her work hours. D. Connect her with a therapy group for caregivers that meets weekday evenings and provides sliding scale fees.
If you chose A, help her explore flexible work arrangements and coordinate with community elder care services, then you are on the way to mastering how to handle treatment barriers. By helping Donna explore flexible work arrangements and connecting her with elder care services, you are tackling both her work scheduling conflicts and caregiving responsibilities without compromising her financial stability.
Well, I think we're about to wrap up. Any final thoughts?
Just that therapists should stay flexible and open-minded.
And remember the importance of individualized care.
And to everyone out there preparing for exams or working with clients, keep learning and growing. Thanks for listening today. And as you study for your exam, just remember,
It's in there.
it's in there.